is Charlie Martinez, aka Charles_X34, here with you with another video. And another subject that I'd like to talk about today would be about how people on the spectrum are being discriminated against with this form of what I would call ableism. Because throughout our lives, or throughout some of your lives, that those of you that are on the spectrum, or those of you that have kids on the spectrum, must have encountered some form of ableism against you or your child in a way that really diminishes, or they try to diminish and minimize the struggle you have with your autism, in terms of how you socialize, in terms of how we interact with people, in terms of how you find it difficult to live your life in a way where you need assistance, but it doesn't help if you discriminate and try to tell us you're a little autistic, or saying we're all a little autistic, or even say you don't even look that autistic, which is the biggest insult. Telling someone that's on the autism spectrum you don't look that autistic, or you don't even look autistic, is not a compliment. Let me just emphasize that. It's an insult. And it's kind of like saying you almost go by our standards, so keep it up. I'm not here to defend anyone's standards in social society, and to me, I feel like we shouldn't have to live up to what people expect or what everyone else expects to fit the norm, because to me, everyone's different. That's my opinion. Everyone's different in their own special way, and no one should have to fit the norm of what society expects from everyone in the way what people use the word normal, which is overrated. And ableism to me is just a form of device to really divide others and people's thoughts of how they perceive things, how they perceive people that are on the autism spectrum, because people, based off stereotypes, what they see on television or movies about what people are like on autism spectrum, that's all the information they could gather. And for those of you that actually do your information study and actually learn about people that are on the spectrum, I applaud you for going out of your way to learn what it's like to be on the spectrum. But overall, it would be nice to have people that will understand and process what we go through, and just get an overview of what's going on inside our internal thoughts and feelings as people, because we're, at the end of the day, people on the spectrum are just like you and me. We're all on the same team, and we're all trying to gather enough information for people to understand that we're on the spectrum. We're people. We seek equal opportunities, and we're just here to stay, and we coexist with everyone else, like it or not. Take it for example, if you're a comic book fan or a Marvel fan, I'm not starting the Marvel DC debate here. I'm actually talking about, remember the team called the X-Men? People resent them. They know they're there, but they just don't acknowledge them sometimes, and they forget there's mutants in the world. I wouldn't say autistic are mutants, but in a way, we're trying to seek acceptance and awareness. In a way, we're trying to cope with how people see us differently than others, and sometimes we might blend into the crowd so much that we forget that we're autistic. But to me, I feel like we should stay true to who we are, because what's the point trying to fit someone's norm if you don't feel happy or free with yourself, and you always feel stressful all the time? Just lay back, take a deep breath, and let yourself free. There's no point in wearing a mask if you're unhappy. That's all I gotta say for tonight. Ciao.